them $200 bills is over. I'm done. Like,
Bro,
nah.
look, it's something about that little window that we going through right now that like it ain't winter, but it ain't spring. But you be like, let me turn this heat on or this AC or no matter,
Well,
I don't know
it's
what you
that in
gonna do.
between. You can't go out with the winter jacket because you look stupid, but you also can't go out with a t-shirt.
Yeah.
So you in that in between.
And you gotta stay ready because it might snow. It might still snow.
That's
right.
it. That's it.
I'll tell you this though, and this goes back to my accomplishment for a couple of weeks ago, installing that. I got a phone call.
There you go. That's important.
Excuse me. God
It's
damn.
really not. That's why you hit that. Just why you put that shit on silent. So anyway, no, that's that's installing that ceiling fan the other day was the best thing. Well, I guess a couple of weeks ago was the best thing I could ever did because when it got warm in the house a couple of days ago, when I was like I wanted to go golfing, and then my ribs is reminding me that bro, you've been sick for the last week. Yeah, that was great. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you, but.
See, like even the other day was nice as hell outside. So I was like, man, fuck that shit. Woke up, I was like, I think I'm a grill. And then you spoke it into existence for me because I was like, damn, I was thinking about grilling. And then here goes Sean, yo, who firing up the grill today? I was like, you know what? It's already on my mind.
That's what I'm talking about.
You're listening to the Hot Seed Podcast.
Seed.
Welcome all. I'm Sean, along with my co-host Earl.
Yo.
Dave.
Yes, sir.
And you guys already know what it is. We're just dads with mics, gamers with headsets, and a whole lot of unfiltered conversation. And as always, make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the Hot Seed Podcast. And be sure to listen, like, rate, review, share, and most importantly, enjoy on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, or wherever you get your favorite shows. And, of course, subscribe to that YouTube channel at the Hot Seed Podcast, where you can watch us, and see our wonderful faces, man. Welcome back, folks. Episode 140. A couple of weeks off. Things happen in the world. Your boy almost died, shit like that. But, Dave got a fence and Earl's cold. That's pretty much what's happening for the last. Look, man.
Yeah, that sums it up.
Look, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Take me back to November of 2019. In November of 2019, all the world was right. I didn't know what the fuck a COVID was. I didn't know what a COVID test was. I didn't know none of that. But I'll tell you, since then, you've had COVID, you have RSV, OPP, yeah, you know me, all this other stuff. And, we would have been recording a show about 10 days ago. And I'm inside the airport, minding my own business. And I felt myself literally inhale a foreign object. I don't know if it was dust. I don't know what it was, but I inhaled it. And as soon as I did, I instantly started to sneeze. And I know what it was, at the time. So fast forward until 2:00 that next morning, wake up, I'm sweating. I got a fever. I'm coughing, everything. And that was just the prelude to a week worth of presumed death. Because
it's powerful drug.
Man, shit. I guess that's what it was, bro. Because when I say your boy was sick, it was a fever. I'm sweating out clothes. I think I might have took 20 to 25 showers, man, because I was just sweating so much. The coughing got so bad, man, that I want to say around that Wednesday, I had one of my employees call me and ask me was I okay. And when I answered the phone, she said, "You sound like shit." I said, "I do." And I said, "I feel like I just got out of a heavyweight fight." I felt like goddamn Sylvester Stallone, man, had just hit me in my goddamn ribs when he was training to go against Apollo Creed. Rest in peace, man. to Carl Weathers. I hurt so bad, bro. Like it hurt so bad, man. To like my ribs and kidneys and everything. Cause I was just coughing the whole time. And then, you know, shout out to Peter. Like that shit tastes weird, but that shit brought me
Nah, that
back.
shit
'Cause
work,
that shit the dehydration was real. I didn't eat shit. And speaking of shit, like everything I ate, bro, was like 6 minutes in. Yo, I'm out. I'm out. Ass is sitting on the toilet. Like it was, oh my God, bro. And the bad thing about it, it won't COVID, bro. I don't know what it was. It won't the flu. It was just like death standing in the eye. I was like, let's take me out of this bitch. I ain't
You
got
remember
time.
the time period when they used to tell you, "Oh, you just got the common cold." That shit ain't common.
No, man.
I don't
Ain't
even
no
know what
comment
that
about that.
mean. Like, yeah, you got the
No.
common cold. Like,
Ah.
nah, bro. Like all this stuff now. We said it a while ago when everything hit with COVID. And remember
Right.
we said that joint's gonna turn into the new common cold.
Yes,
Now
man.
you feel good if you got cold. Oh, got cold?
Yes.
Okay. I know how
Yes.
to deal with that. This other stuff that's floating around, man.
Yeah.
Listen, I remember when they popped back up not too long ago with the norovirus, and I remember when I had that years ago, bruh.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
is
Right.
give me the cold, give me the flu, give me COVID, give me all that stuff before that norovirus. That thing.
It is, man.
No.
And shout out and salute, man. We appreciate all of our viewers and listeners and supporters of the HOTSEED podcast. But I want to say for all you motherfuckers who decide to keep coughing and sneezing and don't cover your mouth in public, fuck you, bro. Because that every time I see that, I get apprehensive because I'm like, oh, because there's nothing. You see a person on their phone like this, bro, and just keep walking. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll need the government to take all your rights away again. Fuck this shit. I ain't got time for it. Like, because it ain't it, man. It ain't. It's all fun and games until your ass is sitting out there on a goddamn ventilator because you didn't caught some shit from.
Not good, yeah.
It's not, man. It's like, and that's the one thing that the worst thing that could have happened was COVID because it forced everybody to go into the whole mask mandate and stuff like that. But the moment people was like, let's get back to normal. Yo, ain't nothing normal about that. Again, I said it before. When I was in the military, 1999, I'm stationed in Seoul, Korea. Yo, we were wearing masks then. And that was to prevent you from being out in public because tuberculosis was a thing. And if you guys ever had a TB test, like, we've had them as kids and stuff like that. I had a TB test when I was out there and my TB test came back positive. And bro, when you talking about being in a panic and they let me know, hey, look, hey, you got tuberculosis, but it's dormant and it's sitting in your lungs. But still, I don't know what I say dormant. Does that mean like dormant like Godzilla? Because that motherfucker came out of the rocks, and we got a whole multiverse of that shit now. But people want to understand, man, there's a lot of stuff out there that will kill you, whether you know it or not. They didn't want to play with Magic Johnson because they thought he had AIDS and he only had HIV. And Karl Malone was like, nah, I don't want my blood intertangling with his. Motherfucker, you not bleeding. You know what I'm saying? You ain't been physical a day in your life, but the people ain't want to get sweat on them. So I need y'all to get together. Earl, how was your week, man? Or 10 days or 2 weeks or something like that?
Let me see. Where did I start?
If Earl look like a nun, he cold right now.
I'm freezing, and I just told them. I said I refuse. I absolutely refuse to hit this heat. Because I'm getting into those months where I get a break on my bill, so I want to go ahead and start to chill out on that heat bill. So
Get over there with a snowsuit on.
Yeah, my hoodie in the house. Yeah. I'm looking at my son like, you not cold, bro? Yeah, I don't know. It was a good week. I mean, it's a long week. I always feel like the work day is always something. I only going 4 days, and it's still busy. But yeah, it's a long week, yo. I'm just counting down the weekend. I know stuff is stressed out because I'm like, I be thinking it's a different day, and it's like Monday.
That's crazy.
Oh man, what's up with you, Storyteller? What's going on, bro?
Shoot. Well, you kind of alluded to it. Got the fence in the backyard now, bruh. Opened up the back door, looked over at Carter, said, "Go ahead, man. You know it's something." When he stepped out and looked back at me like, "You sure? Like, like I'm good. Like I could just go." And I was like, "Yeah, man, he go running out there. He is booking, bro. I mean,
He got the
going.
zoomies. He got the zoomies back and forth.
Yes.
Oh man.
He was going, bro. And I was sitting back. I was like, "Yeah, do you think? Don't forget to use the bathroom, though. That's the whole point of you being back here." So, he did his thing and everything. And then, I just went right back to the door, called him back. He ran right back in. I said, "Yep." And that makes it worth it right there. I don't need nothing else in life. That's it. My life is about a fence. Put that joint on the tombstone. Nothing but a fence, man.
I worked all my life and had to fight just to get a goddamn fence.
Get a fence, man. That's it.
Oh man. You know what's the crazy thing about a fence though? It's great because you have your privacy, but when you have an animal, it makes you lazy. And I'm gonna tell you about this. Because some days you're gonna be like, I don't feel like walking him, bro. I'm just gonna let him out in the back. But you know how much I love my grass. I know you love your grass too. So I walk out on my grass and I step into a pile of shit. Be like, I forgot I didn't walk him that day. It's like, so you got to remember, like, yeah, let me still go walk him, because otherwise you just be like, hey, babe, just open the back door, let him out. All of a sudden,
oh yeah, I still stand out there with him. Yeah, I'm just not. Yeah.
I mean, that's why you have a child. You can go back out there and clean up the poop. Like, shit.
You see my
That's
face
what they're
right
here
now?
for.
If you think that pet got anything to do with your child, you will soon.
No, I'm saying to have them go clean it up.
No, I knew exactly what you were saying.
Bruh, we have a lot of poop bags out there. I still, the other day, the missus was like, oh my God, I stepped in some shit. I looked at her. That's one of those times you have to pick the argument, because I pick up after Benny. And when she said she stepped in some shit, I looked at her. In my mind, I was saying, if you would just go out there and pick up after he goes shit, you wouldn't have to step in it. But I know you just let him out there and go. But in my out of my mouth, I was like, that's crazy, babe. I got you. That's what happened at the same time.
I'm telling you, bruh, we got the cameras back there. And
right.
anytime we tell Cam to go back there with Carter, he'll go out there. The first thing he does is put on his music and start listening to it while he's holding the leash or whatever. Dog going crazy, just doing whatever the hell he want. And I'll be like, hey, man, you picked up the poop? Yeah, I got it. Bro, I can see you, right? I can see you. Look at me looking at you. I can see you. You didn't pick up shit, bro.
Run that back one more time. Run that back one more time, sir. He came out there listening to the soundtrack to Spider-Man, the multiverse out there the whole time. Carter's like fucking shit up and shitting everywhere. Do you see that? Oh, I just peed on the rocks. Oh my God. You gotta love kids, man. Got to love kids. I mean, it's been a 2 weeks. We gave you guys 2 weeks to digest everything we got going on during that fun time. Your boys, it's still working to bring you guys the best podcast there is. And, we actually got featured in Black Podcast News, which is pretty dope. They talked about the pod. So you guys go check us out. They talked about the pod. All three of us. They talked about the podcast. And at the end of the day, man, it's pretty dope to get a unsolicited I guess support from those who appreciate the work that you do, which is, I think at the end of the day, for us, we just like doing this shit because it's fun and we stay connected. But we know it's a job sometimes too. So we enjoy it, and we hope you guys continue to enjoy it. So much so that we hope you guys, subscribe to the Hot Seat Podcast Plus, and get ready for our next big event. I don't know how that interlude commercial work though, but yeah, of course, subscribe to the Hot Seat Podcast Plus and join us on April 25th, starting at 7:30 p.m. with the 2024 Hot Seat Podcast NFL Draft Watchcast exclusively for all of our Hot Seat Podcast Plus members. let's get into some conversation tonight, guys. So first and foremost, it is Women's History Month. And again, like always, I hate that you have things that are relegated to a month, but it's when you got days that are relegated today. Hell, today is Super Tuesday, or Taco Tuesday, whatever you want to call it. But let's talk about this in a month or so. And as far as a part of history with that is, we did see something that was pretty dope. You saw Caitlin Clark out of Iowa. She actually surpassed Pistol Pete Maravich's all-time college scoring record a few nights ago. And it's been a big to-do, man. Caitlin Clark, especially since last season with her and Angel Reese and out in LSU, and that showdown that happened in the women's NCAA tournament, has been a big thing, man. And she is, for all intents and purposes, she will be, for what I've read, will be going into the WNBA draft. And right now, yeah, the women's college football is white hot right now.
College basketball.
Well, no, I said college women's basketball. That's what I'm saying. Because she's
football. That's what I'm saying.
I know. I said football. I'm sorry. Women's college basketball. I apologize. They are white hot right now as far as popularity, and that's no pun intended. They really are, man. She is the face. Actually, she's a bigger face in college basketball over men or women. Because tell me if I'm wrong. And I'm a North Carolina fan, and I watch a lot of college football. There's no bigger college basketball face athlete than Caitlin Clark. I know Juju plays out at USC. Yeah, but there's nobody else. You got Angel Reese out there, but I mean, there's nothing.
Not this year.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark she is that face this year. And with her, I guess, of course, passing the record for Pistol Pete Maravich in this case. And we're going to kind of like revisit something we talked about last year, and her going into the WNBA. Is this the time for the WNBA to strike on the overall popularity of one Caitlin Clark to propel the league further? We've talked about, whether we're talking about it in, on the WNBA side of the NBA 2K game, the popularity and stuff like that. We also talked about the unfair pay aspect, all these different things, man. But if last year, which we thought was the biggest time for them to, to take advantage of the hype that was going between LSU and Iowa and Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, is this the year coming in that the WNBA be like, you know what, we're going to take this and we're going to market our asses off to get our league into a better space? What y'all think?
I don't know, because to be very honest with you, this all comes down to money at the end of the day, not just on their side,
right?
On the ownership side, and not to switch sports or anything else like that. But I know they were talking today, even about just any type of athletes out there getting paid, and they said owners are willing to do things that players aren't.
Right.
Because you got to come all together as players, not just stars. Stars can sit back for a minute. Those people that you don't see playing, riding the bench and things like that, they still want their money. You stop that pay, it stops their whole lifestyle.
Right.
So, somebody that's like if we're talking NBA, LeBron James or somebody like that, they can sit back.
Yeah.
And go, okay, I'm standing for this. But you also got to think about that person that's not getting that pay.
Yeah.
So now switch that over to the WNBA. How many people can sit back and say, I'm not playing? Because if you're not playing and you're truly on a strike, you're not getting paid.
True.
And they were talking about the difference between players not being able to come together and do that, and owners being able to do that easily. The switch between the two is when you hear about strikes, that's players, and lockouts, that's owners. An owner can sit back and do a lockout.
Well,
they really got to come together and be on the same accord all the way around.
I guess I probably, and I get what you're saying, dude. That's a valid point. I guess I probably worded it the wrong way. What I meant by this, not by them striking as far as holding out. What I mean
Okay.
is striking on the popularity of
Okay.
building the league based on the fact that you got the most popular women's college player that in my memory to come out and be going this shit. Is this their time for them to like, all right, we're
But
going
that's
to
hands
build
down.
this marketing package around Caitlin Clark, who's white, say what it is, and take advantage of that because they didn't do it last year when they had the whole budding rivalry. And I think we talked about that
Yeah.
before. So yeah, so is this
No,
the
no,
time
no.
they be like, yeah,
Hands down. And also realize this, it's not to take anything from Caitlin Clark since you worded it that way.
right,
You know, there's been huge stars in the WNBA. It just
absolutely, yeah,
hasn't been pushed. You know what I mean? Cheryl Swoops was one of the first ones to come to mind. I was like, oh
yeah.
my God. Like she's
But
out here. You
but
know,
Cheryl
Maya
Swoops was
Moore and
she was pre social media though.
no,
See what
I
I'm saying
got
now?
you.
Yeah,
But Maya Moore and all them coming
right.
in, and you know, but I remember these names. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I didn't even have to follow like that in college to go, oh, I knew who was it? Rebecca Lobo and all them
Right.
that came out. And you were just like, okay, so where do they go next? And it seemed like nothing was pushed after that. It was pushed more in
Right.
college
Right.
than the actual league that you're getting paid to play in.
Right.
So is it time to strike? Yeah, it's been time to strike. I guess that's my answer to that. It's been time to capitalize on that. But the thing is, who's putting together that plan to really go out there and do it? Because the biggest person that I knew about really, I know there's people out there making a difference in it. Don't get me wrong. I know,
Right.
I forgot her name. Did she retire or
Maya Moore.
she missed it? No, not Maya Moore. There was somebody else too. I forgot her name though. But was doing the push along with Kobe when he was alive.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. I know you're talking about. I know you're talking about.
And then everything, you know, kind of got pushed back after everything that happened. And I'm just like, oh man, because that was the momentum when you saw that type of push, and maybe that's what they need too. Maybe it needs to come all together as one. But is it time? Hell yeah. They way overdue.
Let me ask this question, man, because so I was doing a deep dive, man. So the average, I think most of the NBA arenas, they hold somewhere around 15, maybe to 18,000 fans, I think. So I was looking up like the average WNBA game attendance, and it was somewhere around 6,600. That's the average attendance.
Yeah.
And which is interesting to me because if you look at the ratio of men to women in the United States, because that's what we're talking about, it is the ratio is about 97 men to every 100 women. Okay. Or 97 to 100, if you want to call it that way. It's I almost feel like, and you know, for anyone who's watching or listening to the show, you're free to give your comment. So clearly women outnumber men. Okay. There's always been conversation, and more so over the last 5 to 10 years, about women equality, especially in sports and stuff like that. But you know what I don't see? I don't see the support from the women.
What you mean? In what capacity?
What I mean is, as far as like in hip hop, right? So in music, in hip hop music, and this is something that's known from every artist there is. You can go from your goats, whether it's Jay-Z, Nas, whatever. If you want a song to hit or something like that, what do you have to do? You have to make sure that you have a song on in there that plays for the women. That is known throughout everything. Something they're gonna vibe to. If not, they can. Hell, look at Drake. You know, they can. You know, your album will sink or swim based on what the female I guess interest is in it.
Right.
But when you look at I'm saying there's a huge conglomerate of women who support WNBA, but you would think that there will be that much more that supports that to help push those numbers higher. Because if when you talk to the WNBA, who sometimes they put it on the NBA, it was like, well, we don't get that support from that aspect. But you look at what the attendance is to it. You see what the attendance is now. I've seen with the attendance of the actual games itself, and now you have this young white woman, which in sports, there's nothing bigger than a white athlete in a predominantly black sport, whether it's basketball or football. If there is a white athlete that is like that head and shoulders above most of them, or they just do something like that, it pops and it brings more people in. Josh Allen in NFL, college football, you got Caitlin Clark. They had more people who watched her last game, which I think it was like 3.5 million almost, her last collegiate game, than it was that watched. I believe I saw the WNBA finals, which was wild to me in this case. But when it comes to attendance, again, that number is around about 6,600. So if the WNBA, and I ask the question, they go in and put that marketing behind Caitlin Clark, which I hope they do, to build that league, because that funnels the money in. Will women actually go support watching that young lady? Not just her, but other ones. Or what's going to be like, that's not us. We prefer to go and watch our NBA team. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, I think the bigger question is, are women really even watching the NBA too? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I can't say what the numbers look like, but I mean, if I had to just give an educated guess, and I'm not generalizing, so please don't jump down my neck. But I just don't feel like women, are just gravitating to sports like that anyway. Right. Especially, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like women don't watch football like that.
Oh no, they do.
No, listen, no. Well, I say that I'm in comparison to guys. That's what I'm saying.
Gotcha. Okay.
And when you see a lot of females and things come out, it's kind of like Easter, where people that don't go to church all year, but they come out at Easter. Well, that's the Super Bowl because it's an event. You know what I'm saying? It's set up, it's a party and things of that nature. So it's not like you really care about the game, but it's more so, you going to a party, who's at the halftime show, it's an event. But to watch the day-to-day, like, you got to be like a, kind of like an avid fan. And there are a lot of women fans, but I'm talking about for the average every day, they don't give a damn. Sometimes, like, if you have a significant other, you might do that because you have a significant other, but but I don't know, like basketball, I ain't gonna hold you. I barely watch it.
So I just wanted to take a take on doing some exact research on exactly what you're talking about, Sean. Not to cut you off, Earl.
No, I was done. I felt like if I kept talking, I was going to put myself in a situation.
But listen to this directly, and I said my statement before even reading this that I looked up real quick.
Right.
So many WNBA teams don't have individual game tickets on sale yet, but they can expect strong sales for the Fever, who's going to have the first pick, and already hinted at being Caitlin Clark. And they said that Clark in Iowa has sold out nearly all of their road games the past 2 seasons in college. Forget home games.
Yep.
Their road games. So Caitlin Clark coming to town, it's already sold out type joint.
Right.
So they're looking for it to impact the WNBA in the same way. So guess who comes out and says something? Somebody I just brought up. I've never seen a player with this impact on the road or on the ratings. ESPN analyst Rebecca Lobo said. The first year of the league, there was hype around Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Swoops, and me with a lot of commercials. But there wasn't the hype where people could watch us play like they've been watching Caitlin Clark all the way up to this point.
Right.
So right now, tickets are already being put out there that they're going up for the road games in the WNBA for the Fever already because Caitlin Clark's coming to town.
I love it.
That's the first time they ever seen a push like that. So that's the answer to your question, kind of straight up. Yeah, it's already starting.
I love it because here's the thing though. I need the WNBA's media, social media squad to get all over that. Like that's the one thing I don't see. Like I need them to get them thumbs right, and whether you're doing images, emojis, whatever, to push that because it's I get a lot of the stuff now, and the way the way that we consume sports now, it's out of sight, out of mind. There's a lot of stuff in sports that happened that I don't even know about. Get that out in front of it. You have the opportunity to do so, and we all know that where sports are now. Imagine, and it's probably hard to do so, but imagine if we had social media when Jordan was playing, and we all consider Jordan as the GOAT now, and then we watched it live, and the way that, and also at the same time, you can NBC and those guys when they when they presented games, they presented it, I'm sorry, in a way that it was like, oh, it was the event. Man, listen, imagine if you had that now with him.
That build up.
Yeah. Right. And that's the one thing I feel like that they missed the mark on. I know there's a lot of conversation about that, about what the NBA is not doing for the WNBA or something like that. But at the same time, I try to look at it and like, someone has to hold the fault of, hey, bro, hey, what are y'all doing to kind of build up the people that y'all got? Because y'all have great players in the WNBA now.
I'm
even
telling you, the from not even looking it up, the only team, and that's because they're constantly winning and they have just stacked, is out there in Vegas. Like they go crazy for the Aces out there.
Yes,
like that joint is packed. But they said 6 networks had record viewership for Clark's games over the last 2 years. So, I mean, it's going to happen. Just remember that game that you were talking about, Iowa against LSU last year.
Right.
Forget women. Men were tuning in for that game. They probably didn't watch a college women's college game the whole year, and they were tuning in. So it's the build up.
But it's media driven. But yeah, and I agree. Like it definitely is the build up. I think it's also like the storyline. Because with Caitlin Clark and Reese,
Angel Reese,
it was drama. Like
it was
the despite if you thought it was negative or not, and you saw you could turn it into race. Like why they pitting these girls again. At the end of the day, it was must see TV because it was like, Reese is a personality. You know what I'm saying? She was labeled as this. Caitlin was kind of like the good girl, and she had this label. And at the end of the day, they both are dogs. You know what I'm saying? They both hoop, and you wanted to see that. Like that's what you wanted to see. You know what I'm saying? So, like this kind of has like a Larry Bird, Magic Johnson type feel. You know what I'm saying? Almost like hopefully.
They're both going to be going in around the same
time. They could both
go
in at the same time, and then they build on this, But I really don't know if the WNBA has the capacity to or know how to build on it. Now the NBA definitely should help out with that. But also too, even outside of these young ladies, I feel like the NBA could do more. Like it's good to see NBA players going to WNBA games. It looks like they're getting more butts and seats and stuff like that. Right. But I feel like the NBA can really step up and do some other things to incorporate the WNBA. Like one thing I would love to see, they need to have like one that's like Saturday night or something like that. They need to have like a battle of the sexes. Like, forget these competitions. I thought it was dope to have that 3-point contest with old girl, I forget her name, and Steph Curry. Like that was dope because you can't cheat that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can say, oh yeah, she had a smaller ball. It doesn't matter.
She has smaller hands.
At the end of the day, you got to put the ball in the hoop, and she
Right.
did that 20-something times. So, you respect it, but they should have a battle of the sexes where you get the all-star WNBA players playing the all-star NBA players. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that would be dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, and play hard.
You know
Because
what
that, huh?
You know what I think? You know who has been great in promoting female athletes over the
LeBron,
last 10
who?
years? Ain't got nothing to do with NBA. And I know it's just not him, but that team, Dana White in the UFC. You got the UFC.
Mm-mm. He was saying the UFC, and then
Dana
I
White said,
guess
"Don't put me in this."
Dana White, yeah. I can't even
Athletes
finish.
fight.
Okay.
We're not talking about
Okay.
this one. The reason I'm saying that though is I'm sorry, yeah, it's something happens right now. They were able to promote a UFC fight. They have been able to promote UFC fights like to the likes of Ronda Rousey over the last 10 years. And we're talking about it's something that I ain't gonna lie to you, it makes a lot of people uncomfortable watching two women beat the shit out of each other. They were able to promote that. You mean to tell me there's not somebody out there who's able to promote a women's basketball game in the WNBA? And to be honest, to your point, Earl, that you're talking about the Saturday night's NBA, I think that the NBA themselves have gotten lazy on even promoting the NBA.
I
They
agree.
because they just take it off of whatever stars we got. But that shit is nothing like we all remember, and I don't have it loaded up now. We all remember the iconic NBA on NBC, rock and joint there, and I actually have it on in a joint there where it comes in, you know what it looks like. Now it's just like, meh. They don't promote it.
But you know what? Like, I'm sorry, I mean cut you off.
Oh, no, you good.
The thing that pisses me off about the NBA, right? And this is why this has been my rule for like the past 10 years.
Right.
Or ever literally since Kobe and them left. Like, I don't watch the NBA till after the
All-Star
NFL
break.
season and
Yeah,
All-Star
right.
break. And then
Right.
now it's getting even worse. Where it's like,
Mhm.
yo, I don't even really watch the NBA like and really take it serious
You
until
watch
the
for
playoffs.
bets.
Yeah, well, I watch it for bet, yeah.
It's
That's
But
what I'm
bad,
saying.
man.
and even
It's
with
bad,
that, I'm
man.
skimming. I ain't watching the whole game unless the Knicks, and even then, I'm just like But the playoffs is when I start to pay attention, because like literally, my sports schedule goes like this: after Super Bowl, I take a couple weeks and a little down and out because ain't no
He
football.
mad.
You know what I'm saying? So but then I get rejuvenated again in March because of March Madness. That takes me
Right.
into April.
Yeah.
And then cool, that takes me right to back to
Playoffs.
football. Nah,
Yep.
forget
After that
playoff.
playoff.
Yeah.
That takes me to the draft.
Free agency. Yeah, free
You know what I'm
agency and the
saying?
draft. There you go.
Yeah, free agency and the draft. So that's a good, it's my appetizer. Then
Yeah.
I pay attention to the NBA. And I think also the reason being is because, like, yo, I don't know if y'all realize, but yo, the NBA don't seem as competitive as it used
It's
to be.
not.
Like,
It's not, bro.
yo,
It's
literally,
not.
I'm watching these tickets that I put in, and I'm about to stop doing it because it's like, yo, I'm often seeing blowouts. Like, yo, people are getting blown out by 20 points. Like, look at Golden State the other day. You know what I'm saying? Golden State is getting blown out by 50, 60 points or something like it's something
In the second
ridiculous.
quarter.
In the second, right. To the point where, yo, your starters ain't even playing in the second half, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like the competitiveness with the NBA is not there. Like, you gotta wait till you see like tonight where you got like the Suns in the Denver, and then even then I can't even say that's all the way competitive because the other thing is these NBA players are light in the ass. So
So
you
let
know
me
what I'm saying? Cats might not be there because they got a headache or some shit.
is it the lack of competitiveness because of the rule changes?
I think it's a little bit of all of that.
Because like I never played ball, nothing like that. I'm no professional athlete, so it's gonna be those who may listen or hear this like, oh, y'all just saying this because if you're an NBA player, look here, bro. To your point, Earl, I was actually watching the Knicks and somebody played the other night. I
Cleveland.
can no, it was somebody else, man. It was a couple of nights ago. And this is nothing against either team. The overall game was the most boringest shit
Yeah, it's
I've ever
trash.
watched in my life.
It probably
Because
was the game that Brunson got hurt.
it was no type of defense being played. Everybody, it looked lethargic. Like, I had to turn from it, and I didn't even finish a full quarter. And it's gotten to the point now, man, that the product, I hate
It's
this, and it's
bullshit.
weird. It's watching an NBA game, unless it is the playoffs, it's not good. Even your marquee matchups, it's not good anymore.
Mhm.
Because it's become so much of just entertainment instead of guys just really being competitive. Like, this might be the old guy
Yo,
get off my yard type thing. Look,
when-
I hate you if you play for another squad, as another team. Take me back to the 90s. These guys here,
but that's why you
Dave, jump
respect
in, jump
like
in.
that's why you respect like the Jimmy Butlers and
Right,
the Anthony
right.
Edwards and stuff like that. They have a throwback mentality. But I mean, like I said, like I gotta go to and it's ill because I haven't watched college basketball all season. But I know that in March, like those are going to be some of the most competitive games in all of basketball on the
Because some of
men's
them ain't
and
gonna play
women's
no more.
side.
Some
Yeah,
of them
on
ain't
the
gonna play no
men's
more after
and the
this. Yeah,
women's side. You
right.
know what I'm saying? So, and then too, like even with the draft, like the drafts be whack because I'm like half of these players you don't even know about. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it used to be a time where you ain't even have to watch college basketball, but you at least know the first 13 players because you've been hearing about it, especially if you're anywhere around sports. Like you've been hearing about it. Yo, that last draft, I felt ashamed to say that I couldn't even tell you. Like I never heard of Scoot Henderson, respectfully. You know what I'm saying? Who was the number one? Oh, Wemiani, or whatever his last name is.
Wembanyama.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. But like that was it. The rest of them cats I ain't never heard of, bro. Never. So I don't know, man.
What you got, Dave? Like it's the NBA is
Nah, I
depressing
mean,
right now, bro. It's
uh,
depressing.
I wasn't pushing so much on the NBA side. I was saying, kind of what we were talking about in college. I think another thing that hurts the push though is just media in general. Media
Yeah.
could push anything.
Right.
And if you ever notice why you don't have the big push, even just for certain sports in general, let's throw out there. You got women's college basketball.
Mm-hmm.
You have hell, even hockey and things like that. When have you ever turned on First Take with Stephen A. and now Shannon and everything else like that, and they have a whole segment for like the WNBA and things like that? They don't.
Right. Yeah.
So where's the buildup going to be? Because that's what people are watching. We'll spend the whole hour talking about the extra point that LeBron done scored. He's going to break the record. He's going to break this. He's going to okay, great. We don't need an hour on the same topic that we just spoke about yesterday.
Right.
But the WNBA players play their nights. It's not reported on. You get what I mean? Like that's a big miss too. Media has to be on board with the same push and the drive that you're trying to do, or else people won't know. They won't get introduced to it because not everybody's going to go to a game. Hell, especially now. Let's just talk sports in general. Tickets to certain things, people got better things to do right now.
You got that
Yeah.
right.
You know what I mean? You got to make decisions.
Got
Yeah.
that right.
I'm either
They
paying
do.
this bill or going to the game.
I
So
paid the bill.
you know what I mean? I want to come back to lights. So it's different.
Speaking of media, a bunch of people lost their mind today. And when I say about a bunch of people, millions, probably billions of people lost their mind for a little bit today. I don't know if you guys even recognize it or not. That Meta went down today.
Yeah, I wasn't
Facebook
on.
and Instagram was down for a little bit today. And people were losing their mind because they were all on Twitter. I know because I got a Twitter account. And they were all losing their mind. So it's like sometimes less is more. Sometimes less is more. Speaking less is more. It's not a case of less and more, but it's coming to we're getting to a part of this young man's career because say what you want, he's been playing for a while, he's still young. One LeBron James, I don't even know what his middle name is to be at this point. but
Probably
he
Levante or some shit.
he just surpassed 40,000 points. Of course, he surpassed like the most games ever played and something like that. I mean, he's gonna break every record, man. He's been playing for like 20 years, bro.
Longevity.
And the most divisive conversation is the whole GOAT conversation. Let's throw that to the side.
Even though I'm wearing it, we ain't having that conversation.
The question the question I want to ask at the end of the day, because there was stuff that came up recently with with him making a comment about him about Bronny and Bronny being in a mock draft, which is like unfair to that kid because he hasn't even broke being any type of good college basketball player yet. And he was like, just let the kid be the kid, but this is part of LeBron's fault. But at this point, to what LeBron surpassed, because he's going to continue to surpass records because he's been playing so long at such a high level. Just call it what it is. My man's almost 40 and he's still putting up 25 and some change. That's some shit even that Jordan didn't really do, like talking about it. What is LeBron James at this point? Like, what is he? Like, GOAT conversation aside, what is he? Because, and I'll say it like this, he is, and correct me if I'm wrong, he is not revered like your Jordan or even your Kobe. He's like in his own thing. Like when you talk about LeBron, the energy around it isn't the same. So what is he at this point?
For me, he's a brand, to be honest with you. Because when I think about LeBron, I think he's going to go down as one of those people that you may know even more outside of basketball when it's all said and done.
Gotcha.
And I know it sounds crazy to say that, but you never thought anybody would say that about, say, like a Jordan or a Magic or a Shaq, or like these people are making so many moves outside of even their profession. It's a totally different career that they go on. Right. And I told you one of the most impressive things for me with LeBron is when he sat back and did the whole thing with the school. You know what I mean? And pulling people in there. And that just opened up my mind on that level. And putting his team on as far as that brand and was it Maverick Carter and all them being out there and doing their businesses, then doing the shop thing, doing their businesses, then putting out the films and doing the book, all these different type of things. It's a brand. You know what I mean? Respect the game or disrespect the game all you want to and compare it to what all you, but he changed it in that way. He's going to go down, forget points and stuff, as one of the most influential athletes of all time. He's hands down going to go down as that. So when I think about it, I think about not only for what he's already done, but what still is in the bag for him, hopefully, in that sense. So that's really LeBron to me. When I think about LeBron, I think about that brand. He's changed the whole sporting level of even doing contracts. Think about that.
He's
this man sat back and was like, "Nah, I'm not signing on for no 3, 4, 5 years. You gotta prove yourself to me each and every year." He started that. So
he's definitely, I would say he's probably the most intelligent athlete of all times. Again, it has nothing to even do with the sports. It's just like, when NBA, when these kids go to these ABCD camps and stuff like that, and they talk about contract, no, they need to have LeBron coming in and talk about branding and say, hey, listen, this is what you need to do with your bread, young fella. Like, this is how and it's funny because I was watching something on IG, and I think they showed like a clip of LeBron at like a media, like an after game media press or something like that, and they were saying, what would you tell young LeBron? And he was like, yo, I wouldn't tell him nothing. Like, he was like, young LeBron had a good head on his shoulder. He had good people around him. Like, if anything, I would say, man, keep doing what you're doing. So like, I think like for I don't even like, I guess for me, like on the court, Jordan is always gonna be my GOAT. Like there's no back and forth with that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just, it is what it is. But off the court, plus on the court, I would say that GOAT, in my opinion, is LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Because LeBron's impact in so many different areas is crazy. And I'm actually excited to see what he's gonna do post basketball. Cause like I really feel like Bron business accoutrement or whatever you want to call it, like is crazy. And to the point where he's gonna own something. Like, have you ever known what basketball player while playing was a billionaire? He might have been. I think he's the first one.
You know, he's first. He's definitely
What
first.
football player do
Nah.
you know?
Yeah, the only person close is Tiger. It's Tiger's the only one.
What athlete
Tiger
do you know while still actively playing?
You don't want to hear that.
Became a billionaire.
Tiger. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Tiger's the only other one. I believe Tiger's the only one, and that's in golf. Tiger's the only other billionaire athlete. Yeah, he's the only other billionaire athlete. Yeah. He's the only other billionaire athlete. That's it. Like nobody else did that.
I mean, you know what? Then kudos to Tiger because that's impressive because they ain't getting the NBA type, so that's impressive.
On a side note, not to talk about Tiger, that man's so big that he sat back and said, "Nike, here you go." And then when it did his own brand, there
you go. Sunday Red. I'm buying some. I ain't gonna lie to you. He did. Like LeBron. And to you guys' point, you both are absolutely right, and that's the way I see it. He is a brand. Like he's not going to be everybody's GOAT, and his impact. And to be fair, no one is going to be able to do in history what Michael Jordan did, because the NBA they weren't on the verge of bankruptcy, but the NBA was so trash then, even with Bird and Magic, the popularity of the NBA was like, remember back in the day, the NBA used to be on tape delay. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day. And then, Bird and Magic came along, but
Magic saved the NBA at that time.
Yeah. And Jordan took it and was like, yeah, y'all saved it. Well, watch this. And that turned into the whole global thing to where it's being played, everything. And it's kind of twofold. It's to its benefit. Yeah, they made it global, but what they did is, and this goes back to circle back around to how the competitiveness has gone down. If you watch the NBA has gone more Euro than it's ever been. If you watch the Euro, the tournaments and stuff like that, FIBA like that, they're not physical at all. They are not. They're fundamental when it comes to certain aspects, but they are not physical. Those rules, they kind of coincide when the NBA really got involved in with that there when they did all of the rule changes to where now is the NBA. If you watch these games, they look a lot like these European FIBA type games where there's barely any defense really played. There is no dominant European defender in the game outside of Rudy.
I gotta disagree with you.
Let me run that back. There's like two. You got a Rudy Gobert and Giannis. That's it. That's really all you got. Is there somebody else that I know? But besides that, there's no real defenders in the game anymore, and those are the only two European players who defend.
Well,
Jokic don't defend.
I'm gonna just say yes, he does. I'm gonna just say in terms of like not the comment of like the specific defenders, but the European game has never lost its physicality. Like they're the ones that
Wemby definitely defends, by the way.
Yeah, they never lost that physicality. If you look at it, they have maintained that physicality, even that old school physicality. Like they play defense. You know what I'm saying? They play tough. What has lost its physicality was America. You know what I'm saying? America has lost its physicality, and that is due to a lot of the freaking the rule changes and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Which is why like they struggle with playing teams overseas because they don't have that physical. They don't have that physical or those specimens. Like before, you had cats on it. Think about like Jordan era, right? Shit, even think about like Kobe and them era, like, yo, you had enforcers. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they wasn't the most skillful. Oh, but they gonna get physical with you. But
But
now it's
they
like,
had
but
fundamentals too, though. They had
huh?
they had their fundamental aspects. You said the physical part. They had the fundamental aspects of whatever they specified in. Whether you were a mid-range guy, you were a rebounder, all you did was
Yeah,
play.
the fundamentals is still there with these guys too. It's just there is no physicality. Like, these are the most skillful players ever. You understand? Like, you have centers shooting threes. You understand
Yeah,
what I'm
that gap
saying?
isn't as big
Like,
anymore.
it's no argument here. Like, these are the most skillful players that's ever been in the NBA. You understand what I'm saying? So, but like I said, the one piece where you always, question is just like the physicality, like how tough these guys are. Like, these guys are not tough in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? These guys are not physical in my opinion.
So that goes back to that kind of like circle back. Is this the part where, and we were just giving all the kudos to LeBron, but we were talking about what he is. He's the brand. Is this gets to the point to where guys are, rule changes aside, hey, we got to look out for the brand first before we
Yeah.
do all the extras. You know what I'm saying?
But
Like,
they definitely got to look out for the brand because you're in a time period where
right,
you're on a countdown of LeBron not being there.
right,
So who
right,
picks up that mantle? Who's going to
right.
be, that face? You're going to have LeBron out, and then probably right soon behind that, Curry and all them going.
But
Who's going to be?
And that's
when you say
discouraging.
looking out for the brand, are you talking about for the individual player, or are you
No,
talking about for the
no,
NBA?
the individual plan, the
Yeah,
individual,
you saying like the individual player, not
the
just
player,
Oh,
the
like
okay.
their brand. Like, hey, I
The
can't do something that's going to cause me to miss games,
right.
or
Oh no, I
like,
understand that.
yeah.
Well, I'll also say this before we get too far past the whole LeBron and brand thing. The
Right.
last time I felt as eager to see somebody be done because of what I expected afterwards
Right.
was Kobe.
Got you.
It's a shame that we never got to see it, but I'm telling you, he was going to.
Yeah, he had some stuff doing.
The NBA was going to be a side note. It was going to be an extra notch on top of things, to the point that, still today, there's universities that teach Mamba mentality. It's a course, just like Tupac. They teach certain things of his breakdown of his lyrics and his poems and things like that. There's certain minds that were so far past their time that we probably won't appreciate it until decades down the road when we're like, damn.
I didn't get it.
Hey, y'all want to know where you want to know where and this may not be accurate, but you want to know when like the league really changed into whatever this is that we watch right now. And this is something that we all, unfortunately, we didn't get to see. Y'all remember the puppets? Remember that year when the Cleveland Cavaliers and the LA Lakers were on a collision course to meet in the NBA Finals? Y'all remember that year? And they had the LeBron puppet and they had the Kobe puppet for Nike.
Yeah, okay.
And they were lining them up because that year it should have been, for all intents and purposes, we thought it was going to be Kobe going up against LeBron. And remember, Boston ended up eliminating Cleveland that year, ended up being Boston and LA. Since from that time point, nothing about the competitiveness and everything else of the NBA has been the same. You had something because what you had was you had like the old way of the NBA, which I think that probably ended with Kobe. You guys may or may not agree. He was the last guard of how the NBA used to be. And then LeBron represents kind of more of the new way of things there. Those two things were coming head to head. And we didn't get to see it because Cleveland got eliminated. But just imagine if we were because the hype was crazy. I still remember those commercials. Imagine if we were able to see the Lakers play against Cleveland, LeBron against Kobe, and what potentially we would have saw. Hell, what we would have saw out of LeBron after that. We might have saw a different LeBron after that, because you can bet your ass that Kobe was going to take him like to that. Hey, look, hey, bro, if you want to win this championship, you will have to raise your Super Saiyan level on this, because I'm gonna tell you right now, and you saw what we got. So you'll have to. You will have to. But that didn't happen. LA went against Boston. I think that was the year that the year that Boston won the championship that year, because they had Paul Pierce in them on that year. I think that was the year they won, because they had KG and those guys on it. But you didn't see it. And after that, you got what we get now. You got a bunch of individualistic players and stuff like that.
Let me ask you something, because it's something that I just brought up, and I really do want to see y'all's take on it. We've always experienced a time period of things being passed on.
Right.
Who is going to be, or who do you feel is going to be that person? Doesn't have to happen immediately when LeBron leaves, but I'm just saying, who do you think is
I
going to be
feel
that person
like
to be able to take it to another level?
I don't know if the person right now is here to take it to another level. I mean, I think like Curry overlapped with LeBron, but he's like what 35 or
Yeah, I was about to say
33 or something.
that's
Yeah.
too much of an
That's an
overlap.
overlap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's not gonna be extended enough.
their careers going
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
coinciding.
I would say like the people who have the potential to let me not say take it to another level, but to maintain where it's at. I think you have the likes of like Wiyambi or Greek Freak. You
Do you
have
see Tatum stepping in? Nope.
he got to win something.
I'm just
first.
asking. I'm just throwing things out there.
John Morant, I think with in terms of his like no, I'm talking about just I ain't talking about winning. I'm talking about what
I ain't
drives
talking
people.
about winning either.
Yeah, I'm not talking
Yeah.
about winning. I'm talking about because remember Jordan wasn't winning in the beginning.
No, he got to
but
be
he
on
was
the court, my brother. We ain't talking
Right.
about talent.
Yeah.
no, but I'm no, but he what I'm saying, he's injured. He's just injured right now. But
I got you.
he has the potential and the ability to do that. You know what I'm saying?
On Ja Morant's side of things, if we're being honest, will the NBA even allow that?
It depends. It depends if he. It
To
depends
be
how.
honest, man,
It depends if he turns like what type of. I think.
You know
we
what I'm
still-
asking you.
Yeah, I know. I think, but I also think we're not being fair because we still haven't really seen him. He hasn't had enough time back on the court and back in the light to see if he's turned over a new leaf. Like he played literally maybe less than 10 games and then got injured. You know what I'm saying? What I am happy about, my bad, Sean. What I am happy about is that even though he's injured, you don't hear any outside stuff happening. So I will give him credit there that it does seem like he's turned over a new leaf in that sense.
Show grace.
Exactly.
I'm gonna answer this in two parts. I look at Ja Morant how we looked at Mike Vick. Mike Vick was the new face of the NFL, and then things got fucked up, and then we saw how that went. Ja Morant was on the verge of being the face of the NBA. Things got fucked up, and he may come back. He's still gonna be a great player, but I think that moment where he was about to explode, I think has surpassed him. I think it will be.
The only difference I put on that, and then keep on, is if I remember correctly, and I'm just trying to think in my mind, I feel like Vic, by the time he returned, was past his prime. If I remember correctly,
he was still there because he didn't get injured.
It was who did he go to after? It was the Eagles, right?
You Philly,
yeah.
And remember he had a crazy.
Reed was there.
He had a crazy. No, he did hell of a. He just didn't have. Remember, the world has soured on him so much. Remember that Eagles team, bro. I was there for that Philly Washington game where the first play of that game, he threw that 80-yard touchdown to Deshaun Jackson. They had a crazy year. He was his best quarterback he could have been, but the world has soured on him so much that it just wasn't.
That's why I was asking. I was trying to remember.
You know how he was able to get it back? Because let me tell you something. I don't care what you do. If you start winning games, people forget. You know what I'm saying? People forget, and that's what happened. Like Vic started winning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And people forget. And he was, and you give him credit. Like he was doing the work outside where he was, doing stuff with Peter and things of that nature. So he was putting forth the effort, and it was also translating to the field. So, that's why I said like with Ja still has the potential. I don't think there's nobody else that's in his class that can have that same type of impact. Zion is Zion is
not having that discussion.
Zion is the RJ. No. You know what I'm saying? So he's the only one. I mean, like I said, you got Anthony Edwards, who I feel like he got potential.
We'll see where that goes.
You see what happens. But other than that, I don't really see. There's some other cats here and there, but I don't really see like, oh man, I'm excited about this guy. Even WNBA, like I feel like he's just a big motherfucker. Like he's just huge. Like
This is
Cheat
what
code.
this is what I see to them, man. Like I look at the NBA now, how, and it's crazy because, and this kind of ties into the social media space. So remember, we were all old enough to know we were on MySpace. And then the thing that happened after MySpace, I believe, was Facebook, maybe Twitter. I don't know which one came first.
Black Planet.
yeah, what was the black one? Thank you, Black Planet.
Black
That's
Planet.
what I was like. What was the
But-
black one? Black.
So you had that happen, and then
Man,
Instagram
Black
came
Planet.
out,
Oh man.
and then we thought Instagram was the next big thing. And then what happened after that? People steered away from Instagram. The old heads stayed on Instagram, and they went to TikTok and all this other stuff there. That's
the
the
old head
NBA.
stayed on Facebook.
After maybe that too. After LeBron retires, I don't think there's going to be a player. They're going to be like, oh, okay, it's going to be nobody who's going to take that mantle. They're going to be stuck in the whole, we're stuck in the Facebook space. I mean, it's going to be some stuff. You can go out there and look at some guys. Even TikTok is not as whatever, but it's going to be like, well, we like this, we like that. But I don't think there's going to be a central figure that does. Well, we may be looking at a case where we thought Jordan was the last, and then we thought Kobe was. For a long time, unless something drastic happens in the league, LeBron may be the last person, man, that we see that that takes the league. Because remember, LeBron was 18. Even you were talking about his press conference. I remember that press conference, bro, and I remember that commercial he was talking about, and I watched it, bro. They had him in the same highlights as Jordan, Larry, Magic,
Man,
Wilt, Oscar.
I remember
Yeah,
that because see, LeBron is kind of my year. I mean, he's my age, but he's kind of he's a year after me. He's 03. I'm 02.
Right.
But I mean, that was my era because even like in basketball, I remember when I was coming up because my boy was playing ball and we was going in the circus because he played against Bron. Yo, you had Bron, you had Lenny Cook, and then you had Stoudemire, and then you had a young Carmelo or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So like that was the people, in that realm. So I don't know. Like it'll be interesting. I mean, I don't even see anybody honestly in college that I'm like, oh, I'm excited.
Nah.
I can't wait till they come up.
They gotta take a team. What made LeBron so appealing? Remember, he took the Cleveland Cavaliers and made them relevant. So it would have to be, I think the only way is there has to be somebody who goes to a squad. Hell, you might have to have somebody who go down to the goddamn Charlotte Hornets or somebody go out to, I mean, we were talking about Anthony Edwards in Minnesota. I don't know. But you need one of those teams that you don't expect them to win nothing and then be that person that gravitate,
Listen,
that
let me
pulls
tell you
everybody in.
something.
Yeah.
If Anthony Edwards stays in Minnesota and they win a championship,
then you might got something to talk about. Right. You got something to talk about.
That is a difference thing over there.
Giannis did it in Milwaukee. He did it in Milwaukee.
Yep.
You may need that type of, but then he also has to be somebody that, hey, I want to watch him every week. Because even with LeBron, the fact that he was 18, bro, he was 18 and he was 6'8", and he went out there. His first game was in Sacramento. Like the hype was crazy. Like there's nobody. Then like, he doesn't get his just due because his career coincided with LeBron. Was Steph Curry. If Steph Curry was coming out just now and did with his thing, like it just happened to overlap, he's that guy. Now there's nobody, man, that can do that unless you see Wembanyama and San Antonio stay healthy for 10 years and San Antonio wins championships. But the likelihood of that happening, nah, you just don't, because the proof has been a guy that tall, that frail, he may be good for 3 or 4 years, and next thing you know, he gonna have a foot fracture or something like that. It's just, and two, to your point, Dave, before we move on to the next topic, it all comes down to the marketing and like the announcers. You need your Mike Tiricos, you need your Kevin, what's the name? What's the guy from NBA? Kevin Harlan. You need somebody when you watching basketball. That's why it makes it interesting. It's probably why it's so boring now. You need guys who put that energy behind the games that make you invested into it. If you got somebody who talking like the dude from off of a goddamn State Farm commercial, it's just boring. You need somebody who to hype you up around it. You need your next batch, even with the new athlete, you need your next batch of great commentators and analysts to really propel the games. That's what makes it interesting. That's what really makes it interesting. If not, it's just going to get boring and nobody will be like, I'll watch these cats on YouTube, bro. I'll watch them on YouTube because as of right now, LeBron gonna retire. Bronny scoring 5 points a game, and this just all just going down. So March Madness is around the corner, rather, and your party is planned, but you need more snacks for your pregame draft and whatever you need. And you got more guests than snacks. That's where Instacart comes in, North America's largest online grocery marketplace. From your favorite food needs, alcohol, office supplies, because you're going to need that to take some notes, and more, Instacart will connect you with a personal shopper in your area to shop and deliver your order and stay completely safe with their contactless delivery with their leave at my door option. So to receive a free delivery on your first order over $35, just follow the link in the show notes and let them know that the Hot Seed podcast sent you. Instacart, so you don't have to go to the store. And this is the Hot Seat Podcast with your boy Sean Earl Dave, episode 140. We were talking some basketball. We've probably been a little bit long-winded, but we get passionate about that stuff. But before we get off the basketball pack, because Dave brought something up, and we got to talk about this there. And it has been the court storm, and we won't stay on the topic long. Of course, last year or early this year, we had an injury that happened to Caitlin Clark herself. After a storm, a court storming, and then we had the player for Duke, who actually ended up injuring his ankle in this case, man. And it's been a conversation that's been had for the last few weeks, and we're just not getting around to now. And I just want to get you guys a quick take on the whole storming of the court thing. In this day and age, man, if you see it from videos, people are willing to do whatever to get their few moments of fame. If you are one of those, unfortunately, if they are one of those people out there, man, who's like, you know what, if I get the chance to storm the court, I'm going to run up on that one player and smack the shit out of him or something like that. Because that's what it's going to get down to. It hasn't happened yet, but you can see it happening, especially when you're, a Carolina Duke fan, or you're if it happens in football, you're an Alabama, pick a team game, something like that. What do you guys feel about the whole storming of the court thing? Because it looks great on television because it gets you hyped up. But in all actuality, I don't like that many people, and it's all fun and games until somebody gets injured or somebody does something bad to where they actually decide that, hey, I'm gonna run up on a player real quick just to get my lick in because whatever.
I don't know if Earl wanted to go first or not, but real quickly on my side, I mean, it's just part of the thing that makes college different from professional sports. If we're being honest, think about it. It's called March Madness.
Right.
Like, it's crazy out there.
It is.
Do I want to see anybody get injured? No, nobody wants to see that.
Right.
If you really want to address it, at least to me, there's certain things that you can kind of already see it coming. So why don't you address the security that's going on?
Right.
Why don't you have a plan in place to protect these players and things like that? Why don't you have it where, they can still storm the court, but there is some type of leeway for these players to get over to the sides and things like that, instead of it being so immediate within a second, like the last shot goes up and they're right on me.
Right.
Maybe it's a 5 to 10 second thing. Like, look, just let it be known we're not shaking hands after this game. There's no disrespect. There's no nothing. This is a big time game. You can kind of tell when things are about to go down at certain games.
Yeah, sorry.
But I'm done with it. It's just that I wouldn't take it away. When you start pulling away certain traditions and things like that, it changes the whole thing.
Comes whack.
It changes the whole thing. So college sports are looked at because it's different. They storm the field in college football. I mean, hell, they're taking up field goal posts and everything else like that. So, true. I mean, it's one of those things, but you can definitely protect the players.
To the point, don't they got like breakaway, like field goal posts? Like
they do. Yeah, they do now.
So I mean, it's like you kind of like pandering to it. Yeah, I mean, I agree with Dave. I think it's, don't take it away. Just have precautions to protect the players. Like get them off of the court. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got 20 freaking assistant coaches. Like they should be around protecting them. Like, yo, just get them off the court. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, again, this goes back to I don't know. Oh God, if I say this, I'm gonna be. This is why I think basketball players are soft, bro. Like football players, yo, it be thousands of people, and cats be sitting there just walking through it. You know what I'm saying? Like basketball player, man, he get hurt. Like, come on, son. Like, come on, man. Yo, get in the weight room, dog. But I hope he's okay.
I guess so, man.
I hope he's okay.
I hope so too.
What you think?
Let's get into some video game. Me, I think that me just being a cynic, I think this is not going to change. It's just somebody into one of these high profile games decides that I'm going to be the person who run up on that opposing player and I'm going to get a jab in or something like that. 'Cause it's going to happen. I'm going to tell you right now. It's because you see it, the things that they get so hyped up between some of these really, really, hyped up games, man. It's going to be happening. Somebody's going to run up and decide that, hey, I'm going to be the person that runs up and like punches that player or something like that. It's going to happen. I don't hope it doesn't. It is. And once that happens, you're going to have somebody throwing, because it's happened before. You've had even in the professional ranks where people run at you everywhere, cats running up in your face. I like my personal space. And I'm already feeling a certain time wave. I just want I lost a big game, and you come running up in my face screaming, I may decide I might want to have to swing off on you. And it has happened in the professional ranks as well. It's only going to take, you got these kids out there, man, especially doing March Madness. I hope it does not. But I'm trying to tell you, especially if you get one of these big upsets where you got a 15 upset in the 2 or something like that, and they storm or do something crazy like that, tell you right now, this is going to be, and all of a sudden, we're going to be having this conversation like, hey, y'all see what old boy got?
It's called natural consequences. It is what it is.
Consequences and repercussions, man. Consequences and repercussions, man. Let's get some video game corner. Video corner. So we all are excited about the NCAA College Football 2024. Wait for this thing for about 10 years now. And you saw 2 parts. You saw Arch Manning, of the infamous Manning clan. He decided to opt out of the game because he wanted to concentrate on his on-field play. I don't know what that means.
That motherfucker said, this is pocket change.
Right. Yeah, I'm like, what do you mean? Whatever. Whatever, man. It's always one guy. So he's opting out. And then the other part of that is NCAA, they're paying $600 per player and a free game for NIL rights. Roughly, I think they're talking about 11,000 plus players. I just wanted to be to play the game. I don't know what they. Do y'all feel any type of way about Arch Manning or them only paying $600 to these cats?
Hell no, I ain't mad at them.
I don't feel no way about Arch Manning opting out, and that 600 part.
Yeah,
I mean, damn, if you want
that.
to talk about a goddamn minimum,
right?
Like,
saying, these are kids.
That doesn't cover the books for their classes, like.
These are kids.
That's like $6 million, man, just in rights alone, though. Like, now,
know how much they're about to make off this game?
True, they are. But now, also think about the player that you don't know about who plays for. Give me a team that people don't. South Dakota. No, somebody
think about anybody. Yeah.
FBS. They're going to open them up to this. I guess $600. And this,
no, but the reason why you do, remember, we were just talking at the beginning of the show about the power of the players,
right?
True. You just got to be all on one accord. If you see some of the biggest players saying 600 ain't shit, so don't put me in the game. It's not the first time we've seen it. Charles Barkley still does it.
He does it.
You know what I mean? Like people like that. So Reggie, we see them be put in a different way, but Reggie Miller and all them were the same way.
Yeah.
If you see some of the biggest players saying that I am not going to be part of that game for no damn $600, guess what's going to happen? The price is going to go up.
It probably, but here's the thing that what exists. They don't have to be a part of it, but you know what exists. those downloads of those rosters, they still gonna be in that game.
Saying.
Whether they gonna be, they decide to be that shit or not.
But that's why I told you, Charles Barkley and them is in our games because we do the draft.
Yeah,
we upload the roster.
But I mean,
how much you think they're gonna make? Sorry.
So they're getting roughly $670. They get $600, and then they're getting the game itself, which costs $70. But if it's digital, you can't trade the shit in anyway.
No, but I'm saying, how much you think they're gonna make off of this game? Just give me like a rough estimate.
To be perfectly honest, I don't even know, man. Because
how much did the last NCAA make?
Shit, don't give me the line. I didn't even pull that number up.
I mean,
but I think in marketing and everything else, to be perfectly honest, marketing and everything else, I don't think. If anything,
so how much you said it was?
It's $600. It's $600 plus a free game, and they're talking about it's about 11,000 players gonna be in the game.
I thought it was 20.
How much was that? That came out
about 6 million or something like that. A little bit over 6 million.
Oh, if they're giving it to each and every. Well, then maybe. Then maybe, yeah.
Because you gotta think about it.
They really can't do that then. Yeah.
Yeah, because you gotta think about it. You can't go big much higher than that. Because that's not even. Go ahead.
Yeah, after I'm doing the math on it, Madden brings in a little bit over 10 million a year.
Right. So you're spending $6 million just to get NIL rights. This is not including marketing, and this is also not including the development of the game.
So I'm gonna push y'all because that's the 600 is bullshit. So let's do some math, right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So hold on. You have let's say we use your 11,000, right? 11,000, right? Everybody gets 600. That's 6,600,000, right? $6.6 million that they got to pay out to these players.
That's just for rights alone,
right? I believe easily that 1 million, at least, let's just say at least 1 million people buy this game, which is easy, right? 1 million people purchase NCAA at $70. Let's say, because that's around the time. How much?
$70 million. Yep.
That's $70 million. So they made a profit.
No. Because you didn't forgot. You still gotta incorporate marketing and the development of the game.
Whatever. The development of the game didn't cost all that bread. Like, it didn't cost millions of dollars, bro. Like, trust me.
Oh man, the development of the game. Man, listen.
It didn't cost $20-30 million. Regardless of the fact, all right, cool. Let's say it costs $20 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
Development of the game, marketing costs another 10, so that's 30 million, right? All right, cool. Take off 30 million for what was it, 70 minus 60? So you talking about 60 something. So they still pulling in roughly about $30 million, dog. And I'm being generous. And hold up, I'm being generous in terms of how many people is going to buy this game. I just said a smooth, easy million. You can get 1 million in just one state. And I'm going to tell you why I feel like it's going to be way more people. And I wouldn't compare this to Madden because people actually like this game, NCAA, way more than they did like Madden.
That is correct.
I'm going to tell you why NCAA is going to, especially this one is going to make a lot of money, is because people have been asking for this for the longest. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the pure fact that, we haven't had college football in years.
So do you think it's 2 times as popular, 3 times as popular, 4
I
times?
think it's about 5 times as popular right now.
Here's the thing, though. It's only popular.
And then what it make it even better is it don't let the game actually be good. Lord have mercy.
Oh, I got you. That
because like I put it, this is how I know how big this game out to be. I got people, we talking in the bowling alley last week. I got people that ain't even playing video games. It's like, yo, son, like that was the last time I had a console. I'm about to really go out and get me a console and get this game. And I'm shutting everything down. Like, cats, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's people that's coming out of retirement to come get it. Yeah, man. So I think this is going to be bigger than me.
They're going to make money, man. But like this is and again, like the $600, it could be more. The amount of money that the amount of money that it takes to develop this size of a game, because also remember there's going to be online play. Those servers cost bread. The amount of money they're going to be paying to, I think, play to what's going to be the Kirk Herbstreit and I forget the other commentator. that in itself, it's a lot. And then of course all the people who they employ for this, the research and all that other stuff, it's gonna be interesting.
But then I mean, I don't know also too, like when you're talking about online play, like who you telling me they don't get a percentage of, like
who?
I don't know. I'm just asking.
No, because whoever they use, who is as far as their servers, all that stuff goes back up to Big Brother. Whether they're using something that's been developed by AWS or Microsoft or something like that, and then the money they pay out to them, it's gonna be a lot that's happened. Like they don't own those servers; they just leasing space on it. So it's going. The game itself, I hope, to your point, is going to be very good. So it's successful. If it's not good, then I'll be pissed off. I ain't gonna lie to you. What you got, Dave?
So just reading up on it real quick. To combat high-profile opt-outs and amplifying marketing, EA Sports has reportedly partnered with college football athletes to become game ambassadors who will receive additional NIL compensation to promote and market the product. Right. This gives EA Sports the leeway for the current and future titles to sweeten the deal for the biggest stars in the game while not opening up free negotiations for every student athlete in the opt-out phase. So
could you imagine like a walk on, like, yo, nah, you ain't using my name. We're good, fam. We don't want you.
We're good.
Don't want your name.
That's why I said it's the biggest athletes that are gonna be
right.
We can all walk your ass off this title, and this doesn't even include the FCS schools. It's only the FBS at launch, they were saying, and that's still like what 133 schools or something like that. They were saying. So it's a lot. It's a lot of schools, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's some video game for me. I'm excited. I'm excited about that game, man. To say the least. But as far as Arch Manning decided that, hey, I don't want to be a part of this because I'm, going to concentrate on my on-field play, bruh. I just need you to get on the field because Cooper didn't get on there. Just. This is the Hot Seat Podcast with your boy Sean Earl Dave, episode 140. Do you have some not so breaking news, Dave?
Yeah, give me a sec.
Okay, this is some not so breaking news.
Not so breaking news.
News for you. Miami Beach is breaking up with spring breakers, and you heard it correctly. Miami Beach is putting things in place because of all the stuff that has happened in recent years, particularly last year with all the violence and stuff during spring break, people coming into town, that they're putting everything in place from curfews and $100 parking fees and DUI checkpoints, and just to deter spring breakers from coming down there and messing up their area. So, fellas, how do you feel about that Miami Beach? So much so that, in fact, I'll try to find it so you can put it in the show notes, that they've actually got an ad out there where Miami Beach residents do a whole video breaking up with spring breakers, like basically telling them don't come down here. So,
you know what this is, bro?
How y'all feel about that?
I ain't even mad at them, bro, because it's the same thing that happened down in Virginia Beach, down there for different reasons. And a lot of spring breakers, they're not our age. They're much younger than us, probably, half of our age down there. And, a lot of it, you get alcohol, women, young men, hormones. But you know what? Because I was privy to some conversations I didn't want to be privy to. I was in the airport the other day and just listened to somebody talk. I'm like, this is why this generation ain't shit. Like when we would go places as young people, we going out there, we trying to, get with girls and stuff like that. But you know what was different? We had game, son. We actually had game. We had a confidence about ourselves, something like that. These motherfuckers now, man, ain't got nothing. There was no, for one, they get out there and I hate to say it, if they get turned down, that shit turns into like a violent event or something. Or it's just like, I think that the level of, and Earl, you might be able to speak to this a little bit more, man. The lack of self-confidence amongst young men has dropped so low that you are willing to just like resort to like some ignorant bullshit behavior because you feel embarrassed or something like that. Back then, they were like, "Hey, look, if the first don't work out, it's we women they outnumber us. Like the stuff that you see now, man, it's so crazy. You look at the fights that happen, it's typically over some bullshit. It's typically over bullshit.
I just want to let you know I can't speak to this because I'm not in my 20s.
No. What I mean by that is, I'm talking about you
30s, so.
you being in a field that you are, as far as like working with young people and the way the
I
aspect.
I still can't speak to this because I don't understand these kids' mindsets.
Okay,
I just pray for them.
So real quick though, I just want to put you on particulars, and then Earl, you can speak on it. For people that are gonna say maybe this is too much, just to put you in the whole realm of it. In recent years, Miami Beach has implemented emergency curfews during spring break to control what has been described as chaos. While the pandemic slows some things down, spring breakers came down there in 2021. There were over 1,000 arrests just on that one spring break being made. In 2022, there were 2 shootings that injured 5 people, drawing attention to the increased risk that was coming during spring break time. And last year, Miami Beach police conducted 488 arrests, impounded 105 firearms, and issued 7,190 traffic citations during spring break time.
I mean, the city sound like they made some money doing it. They making money doing it. I mean, honestly speaking, I mean, I don't know. Like these kids are different, and it's scary times. Like I said, they it's no chill with them. I mean, if you're anybody, if you're like me and you want to do something, like, yo, save up your money and go out the country, yo. Like like forget being basic and going to Miami and stuff like that. But save up your money and go to Cancun. You know what I'm saying? Because they'll welcome all the fuck shit out there. But you act up if you want to. You act up. But yeah,
listen,
Mexico.
To shut down Miami Beach from spring breakers, I done seen it all now. Because Miami is one of the places where I had, say, even my bachelor party weekend. And the condition that area was in during that time period, at least how I was able to see it from my eyes, and we're just gonna leave it right there. But I'm just telling you, for them to go past that type of realm,
yeah, they must say fuck the money.
Totally different stuff.
Yeah,
kind of an area that's known for partying to go, nah, we can't even go to that point. That's something.
It's just gotten to a point, man. Like it's like there's no accountability. It's like it's this is weird, man. Like I don't even have like no good good reasoning. This shit's just weird. Like you can't. There's like a respect factor out there that's just out the window. This is just dumb at this point, man. And you can't even, so much so, if you have kids that age, to be perfectly honest, man, be real honest and serious about it. If you have kids that age, whether they just graduated, they're in college or something like that, and they come to you and they be like, hey, mom, dad, I'm going down to Miami or something like that. You worry about that shit because we've all heard, unfortunately, man, of the stories about, I guess the one that was like the most baffling and shit was the young lady who went down with her friends, man, and she's down there with her friends, and a fight or something breaks out, and she gets beat to death and videotaped. And then the mom is talking to a friend of hers who's, she considered her daughter in the house, and they killed the young lady, and she's down in Cancun, I think that was. Like, you can't, like, the shit is so wild, man. Like, I don't know what I would do. Like, my kids are now old enough, like, Yamadi's is military, so I ain't gonna worry about her in that aspect. But if she go out there, I'm still worried. But if Javen to say, Dad, I'm gonna go down to Miami Beach, all I know is if I go down there, I'm gonna be worried sick. And if you go down there and find out,
going.
Yeah, or he goes down there because I can't stop him at the end of the day. But he gets down there and he gets into a situation, or he don't come back. You gotta worry about canceling spring break. I'm fucking up all of Miami Beach because I'm like, yo, what happened?
That's
what I'm saying? It's just crazy, man.
I'm like, listen, you ain't going because you ain't got money and you're gonna be asking me for money. So you ain't going.
I can't even say that because he got a whole apparel label and everything, so he got money. So I can't even say that.
But he living in your house, so you can still control that.
True,
You
I
ain't
could
going.
say that.
You know
I
what I'm
could
saying?
say that. I could say that. But he light skinned, he got curls, so he can get down there. I don't need to live here. These hoes about to be all over this, Dad. These hoes about to be all over this. Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
see, because I don't know. I'm trying to even think for me when I like doing spring break. I wasn't really the cat that like I need to go where everybody else going. Like
Right.
I've gone a couple of places.
Right.
I've had fun, but it was like I ain't want to go to like the Miamis and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But I
I think
did go to Florida. I
I'm with
did
you.
go.
I'm with you. Even then, I was I think I was an old soul about, then I went to places, I was gonna do my thing, but after a while, I got tired. Like, look,
Yeah.
I want to eat some good food. I'm gonna rub up on some shit. I'm gonna do some things, but after a while, I'm
Yeah.
like, nah, I don't want to do
I
all this
went to
other stuff.
Vegas.
I plead the fifth on my
I'm
spring
saying?
breaks, but
I mean, no, we did some things though. There were some drugs involved and some other shit like that. But I'm just like, after a while, I'm like, I want to go to sleep. At the end
Then
of
the other thing, the other spot that was a real turn up used to be the Bike Fest in South Carolina at Myrtle Beach.
Oh, you see the Hulu is dropping
I can't
the
wait. It's
man.
coming
Listen,
it's coming in March. I
Hulu's
can't
dropping
wait.
the Freaknik joint.
Yeah,
Man,
let me,
it's gonna be some mamas and aunties out there gonna be like exposed.
so while we're on that matter, right? I remember, we all got older cousins and stuff like that. And I remember like just being around my cousins and like, yeah, man, we going to Freaknik. I'm like, word. So I'm hearing about it from them. And then I'm like, damn, I want to go. You know what I'm saying? And you just like, I remember I was like, yo, I can't wait till I get to college because I'm going to Freaknik. And then, they had a couple of, documentaries. It was a couple of little movie documentaries and stuff like that that mimic Freaknik. I'm like, yeah, I'm going out there. I can't wait. And then they shut it down.
That's all I know is it's some aunties and some mamas out there who had that salt and pepper bob and they got trains ran on them at Freaknik.
What?
That's just not cool, bro. All right, man. Before we get out of here, man, of course, it's
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
oh man. Before we get out of here, man, of course, this podcast will be what it is, man. We hadn't taken our Xbox Live conversation and turned it into a podcast. The same thing they said in Black Pod News. They said
Take your time.
they were amazed about the fact that we took that and turned it into a podcast. Now we're successful at doing it 3 years in. So, of course, man, you can find me on Xbox Live, man, at Sanaa2X. There's some cool games about to drop real shortly. They got the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. It's Mutant Mayhem. I think it's Mutant Mayhem is going to be dropping. So they did like the first screenshot of it as well. I saw a new thing about Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth dropping. I even downloaded, but you know what I did the other day? I downloaded, and we was on the box. I downloaded the Bluey game, and I'm gonna play that.
So I almost did that, and then I realized I didn't have Game Pass, so I had to pay for it. So I was like,
wait, why would you not have Game Pass? Xbox, look, we don't ask for shit. Let's get my man.
Yeah, give me some Game Pass.
Game Pass.
I'm not paying.
Jeez Louise,
because
man.
I don't. You know why? Because I'm like, yo, I only played 3 games.
Dave, you still got Ultimate, right? We had the whole thing how we did all. Yeah, I do too. Why do you not have Game Pass?
I might end up getting it back, but I only played 3 games. I ain't got time to be. Yeah, damn sure ain't downloading that.
Oh,
but I thought about it when you said it. I was like, I'm gonna download Bluey so me and him could play. So I might get it for that.
I downloaded it for me, but I'm just gonna let Kimura play.
Keep that to yourself.
I'm just saying.
Keep that to yourself.
What you got, man? What you got? Dave, whoever got it. Who's up?
Look, the storyteller. I guess the newest thing that I've downloaded is a game called Plate Up. I was talking to Earl about it, and you're basically running your own restaurant.
Oh shit! Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yes. Cam and I have been playing it the last week or so.
Is it like Cooking Mama?
If you've ever played Overcooked, and we're in love with Overcooked.
Yep.
It's much harder. Let's just say we haven't gotten past, I think, day 7 of our restaurant being open before it shut down. So
Love it.
Oh, they closed your restaurant?
They closed your restaurant. And put it this way, I never thought I would have to jump on YouTube and look up videos for beginners for Plate Up. And I found out that there's a community for this game.
That's
like
dope.
a real community. So yeah, we're not ready for these conveyor belts and things like that. Cam and I got to step up our game. So hopefully I could talk about this a little bit better in the upcoming weeks. Side note, not a video game, but somebody's other half brought up a show that I finished watching, and it is amazing. If you have not watched Warrior, and it's on Netflix, it is great. I'm talking about, think of going into like different gangs within like New York and cities like that, and now switch it over to a time period where you're bringing over people from China. And I don't want to give too much of it away. Just things being
it's gangs of New York. It's gangs of New York. If you ever watched
that side of things, the gangs are more within that culture. The Chinese culture. So I said, I don't want to give too much away. But it is great. When I say great, it's one of those ones that you'll be like, oh, I'll check it out, and you'll end up your weekend is gone. It's shot.
It's
just be prepared. That's all I can say about it.
For those who didn't know, this is based off of this show is based off the writings of Bruce Lee. So he actually wrote.
See that.
So it actually shows you anything there. So this is based off the writings of BruceLee, and so much so when you watch it, you will see you can see where they
even his technique,
So is it about
also the
him?
names?
Because my cousin told me about it.
No, it's not about him. So you remember Bruce Lee wrote a lot of films and stuff back then. If you guys remember, and I hate to talk about this because it pisses me off. The original show, they had something keratin in it. What the hell was it? It was a kung fu show that used to come on Fox. It was a white guy. And he was like traveling through like country to country.
It wasn't that Kung Fu?
Yeah, Kung Fu, yes. That was written by Bruce Lee. It was supposed to be Bruce Lee, but the white man decided that, we'll be better off bringing in Robert Carradine or whatever his name is, David Carradine, who played that role. So Warrior is based off the writing. So the Warrior is based off of films or writings of Bruce Lee, and then it turned it up into the film itself. So even Green Hornet. So just let you guys know.
Yep.
But what you got? What you got, Earl? Yeah, what you got?
MJ Fat Boy 973. I mean, just me and Dave been rocking. Like I said, really been in Call of Duty. We appreciate zombies. Like zombies have, once we figured it out, we was like, okay, this is dope. On NBA, I'm the reigning champ, probably be the 2-time champ, back-to-back champ. But that'll remain to be seen. And I do want to shout out too. We talked about the Freaknik. I do want to say that I am excited that come June, House of Dragon season 2 is coming back.
Is it 2 or 3? Is that 2 or 3? I
2.
Said 2. Okay, 2. Gotcha.
Season 2.
Gotcha.
I'm excited.
It's gonna be fun times, man. A lot of new stuff coming out now. Even more stuff we haven't even talked about, but it's jumping out right now. But the video game space is heating up. A lot of new gaming stuff is coming out as well. So it's gonna be pretty dope to say the least. So again, of course, if you guys want to jump in and communicate with us and collaborate with us, I don't know about you guys, I've gotten so many messages from people adding me as friends on Xbox. So this thing must be working. So again, hit us up there, man. We play some games. The MLB The Show is coming back to Game Pass 24. So we'll see how that goes. They probably still don't have a franchise online mode, so it is what it is. But they bring back the Negro leagues though. I'll tell you that much. Won't give us an online franchise, but they'll bring back the Negroes.
Yeah, Jonathan Majors in it. All right, let's go.
All right. On that note, hit the cue.
The hot seed.